Hi, I'm Lauren Dodd. I'm a reporter for the Killeen Daily Herald. Today we'll be talking to Laura Allen, one of two candidates running for Killeen ISD School Board Place 2. For more election coverage, visit Center for Politics at kdhnews.com. Laura Allen, why are you running for the Killeen ISD School Board?
I'm running because I think I can make a difference. The district is in some turmoil right now with a whole program being out of compliance, and that should really be unacceptable to anyone who in the district. We're taxpayers, we're citizens, we're mothers. My kids went to school there. That's why I'm running. I come at this as a mother, a military spouse, and a former teacher. So I think I bring that perspective with me, and that's why I like to serve.
What are your top 3 issues or priorities as a school board member?
My top 3 issues is transparency. I think we've had a real problem with that on the board, trying to get just basic facts about things that, not everybody can go to TEA or dig up all this research. Why do we have to put in freedom of information requests for an audit that the taxpayers paid for? I don't understand that. And when you speak before them, there's no response, and it's not, they choose not to give a response. They'll tell you that's the rules, but actually they get to make their rules. And so it just needs to be, the board needs to be a bridge to the community, not a wall.
And what are your thoughts about transparency? You just touched on this a little bit in open government, but specifically, would you elaborate more on transparency and how it relates to the district's release of the Gibson Consulting Group Special Education Final Audit Report and the subsequent drafts?
Sure. I read all 100 pages of it, and the TEA report that was attached to it. The TEA report was quite interesting in that it alluded to that they wanted to have a monitor in the district, and the district said, well, we'll have somebody, an outside independent source, audit us. Mm-hmm. So the outside source came and audited them and gave some very reasonable things we can do to fix and come into compliance with special education. Now, what I find the most interesting about it is, instead of saying, this is great, this gives us a starting point, thanks for, seeing things that we may not have seen, they made up an 11-page report that rebuts their own internal audit, this audit that they paid $85,000 for. So why would you do that? To me, that means they're not serious about change. They're just trying to make the state happy, and the state's not going to be happy unless they change. And we have to change. We owe it to those students to give them a good education.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the district initially hiring attorneys to file an attorney general request to withhold the draft audits from the public, what are your thoughts on that? What would you do differently as a school board member, or if anything?
Well, the draft audits, the only thing that needs to be taken out of something like that are names, or a way that somebody could figure out what the names are. I'm a big believer, look, we all know we have a problem. Get it out there, rip the Band-Aid off, get it out there, and then let's fix it. This tippy-toeing around it and saying, well, they didn't use the right word when they were describing this, and so that doesn't negate a whole entire 100-page audit. Mm-hmm. And they had some really good ideas. As a teacher, I went to University of Nebraska and studied education there, and they would teach us, if you see a good idea, a good practice in a classroom, to steal it, to borrow it. And so when they were presenting, they would give examples. They said there are schools in this district that do an outstanding job. And they also said data collection, I think they referred to Waco as having an excellent program for that. Now, what I would ask the superintendent to do would be check that out. See if it's a good fit for our district, and if it is, let's see about getting it. Because, that they're offering us answers that we paid for, and the board doesn't seem to want those answers. So,
And what specific steps would you take to address special education issues in Killeen ISD if elected?
right, I would go to that audit. Having read through it, they give some specific. One of the things is our teacher to student ratio. We have some issues with the number of diagnosticians we have. That's one of the reasons we can't do it within the time frame that's required. Speech pathology, those are hard things to fill. So you may have to increase the salary for something like that. But, it's not a lot of big changes they're asking for. But I don't know why, they wouldn't want to follow it. But that's what, I'm not the superintendent or, claim to be. I don't have any sort of SPED certification. But I did, as a child, I had special education services. I am deaf in one ear, and I spoke the wobble and down the because, and here I am today speaking to you. I would have never done that. I was very shy and introverted, and that's what special education does. It changes lives. Early intervention in dyslexia and autism, it changes lives, and we are not allowing that opportunity for the students in our district.